I'm looking forward to this. The countdown has begun, so we should be going. Yep, pretty much now. World 6 start, huh? And a pipe to begin with. So World 6 is kind of interesting because with all the different pipe setups that you can have, not quite getting the lock on this one, but there's two. Okay, so two locks, and the bridge needed built there. There's nothing at the very end of the world, but if one of those early forts actually leads to your bridge being built, you can come all the way back round and you can maybe skip a level or two here. So that could be good. Seen a rare P-switch used in the World 2 here. There is actually, I think, a 1-up item, right? Above the last one of those. It's a really weird placement for it. But yeah, both players getting through, no problem. Kind of unfortunate that you get a star instead of a mushroom pickup at the beginning here. You'd really like to have a power-up coming out of this, but it is what it is. So we'll see. I guess it doesn't matter too much. Both of them going for the same level. It is 5-4, and neither of them, again, getting a power-up to begin this. That Hammer Bro could become an issue with this setup. We'll have to see. Hopefully it doesn't prove to be too much of a problem. That little Cheep also not proving to be much of a problem. I'm pretty sure I've seen that Cheep despawn a platform at the very end of this before, but it's okay. Didn't happen this time. That is all that matters. So yeah, and you can see the Hammer Bro is directly in the way here. It is a Sledge Bro, so it should be doable. Very much, yeah, much more difficult for Fred, but he seems to have a pretty good setup here. Yep, Mushroom is available as the prize, and a little bit of swimming for it. It's actually better just to keep swimming forward rather than jumping in and out of the water there, I think. So this pipe, yeah, that pipe had to go to the one that was hammerlocked, so that's just a good confirmation. Seeing a mushroom out of the Toad House for Fred there as well. You don't have a choice as to which direction you go in this world at the moment. So we're going into 4-4. Fred's just realized, yeah, that has to go the other way, so no problem with that. This stage is kind of annoying, and once again seems to be one where we are not getting a power-up. Every single item box is a star right now. That's not good. But they do have a couple of... At least Fred's got 2. Magoo has got 1 from the Hammer Bro, obviously. There is a mushroom item they can give if they do have a particularly difficult level coming up, or a 7-1-7-6 to go for the skip. So that's fine. But yeah, we'll have to see where the lock here, where that actually goes. Because it's possible that... Fred gets a nice 5-up too, that's pretty useful. Good Fire Flower for Magoo coming out of the Toad House here. That could be very handy for the bros if he wants to use it, as he does straight away. Makes the combat much more palatable here. As Fred's going to get another item too. Yeah, so this fort could actually break... No, not even break a lock. It could just make the bridge. And then you'd have to go around. Oh, getting sniped again with it. Oh, and another water-based one for Fred. He is not having a lot of luck with these Hammer Bro fights here. But we do get a hammer for our troubles. So that's good. As Fred is going to be going in for round 2. It's a random arena every time, so he doesn't get the water one this time, which is good. There's the hammer. A little bit of a hit and 6-4-3 here, my least favorite fort in the game. But that star makes it good. If you can use this to use your P-speed to go the whole way, it's possible to get through this last part here without taking a hit too. Oh no! Magoo getting stuck in the middle of the thing. Just a slight errant jump. And that really hurts. This place just sucks. Speaking of, yeah, don't go down the bottom there. I've been trapped by that before. You just get killed and it's really sad. Oh, speaking of, yeah, this is why I don't like this fort. It's really, really difficult to get around some of these waffle pans when they are in weird locations. So, oh no! Both of our players having a lot of issues with this place. The ending for this fort is very nasty. That is not a place you want to take a hit, too, on the carpet boo there. Hopefully Fred can just run on, jump through. That jump might make it problematic. Yep. So you would need to do a full just run across the one tower gap here, as Magoo takes a bit more of a slower approach here. Does get it this time. Okay, now just go to the left. Okay, or get lucky enough and it works out. That's fine too. So this room, you want to, in vanilla, you go to the right so that you just go straight next to the doorway. But in Rando, you actually want to go to the left. Oh, not committing enough. Fred is having a really hard time with this fort here. I would use the leaf to get through this, and it looks like we're just progressing in the world. So that pipe not gonna matter, as the Air Force is the thing that comes up here. Interesting little one here. Oh, Fred actually getting the power up there. It's an extra life in vanilla. Oh, and immediately probably wishes he didn't. Magoo just needs to be a little careful with not just bouncing off of the rocky wrenches here. Just taking their time. So Fred does make it through the end of the trouble room in 643. Has a power up still too, so Boom Boom should be manageable. The annoying thing is this is actually a possible, like, to fail Boom Boom fight. This one can actually be pretty annoying. So you gotta be careful with it, for sure. As we see, no problems in the Air Force for Magoo here. Definitely on a pretty solid run to start off with here. Outside of your 643 troubles, but it's pretty much the toughest fort in the game for me at this point. Like, 742 is obviously very difficult, but 643 is the one that more consistently kills, I think. Unpopular opinion, I know, but do get one match out the end card, so that is potentially nice. It is one of the mushrooms, so you can actually see there will be another one of those in the card. You'll get to see what the item is. As Fred taking his time now. He did take a hit, so he's got to be very careful not to die in this place. This level can be incredibly jarring to die on. Speaking of ones that's jarring to die on, though, just because of the length of this level. Oh, that Cooper didn't know what hit him. 3-9 is a pretty annoying level to die on, because if you get like bloopers and such at the end of this here, because it does take quite a while to do. Luckily, Magoo is through, no problem. See, 1-up flower, mushroom. So, one potential match for Fred next time. We'll see whether he takes that match or whether he leaves those flowers in play, because you might be able to get more of the end card by leaving them there. Another annoying water stage here, I actually forget exactly. I think this is 3-5, is it? Is it 4 or 5? I don't remember. It's an annoying water stage anyway. There's a lot of very poorly placed enemies here. There are a couple of power-ups, but they're both kind of out of the way. There's a hidden 1-up block in that bit that Magoo didn't get sniped by, luckily. That has killed in the past. So, and then this last bit's kind of annoying too, just to add insult to it. Fred's just tackling the blooper here. Not a problem, and there we go. So there was no need to do the fort because we already knew there couldn't be a lock or a bridge built at the end, since we had 2 forts and 2 locks already, plus the bridge already seen. So that is totally good for Magoo here. Going to get himself a flower in the second airship. So that's kind of good for Lemmy here. You could go ahead and fire kill him. He's in a not super great spot, and he only takes 1 jump anyway this time, so that's fine. Fred's just, again, got to be careful with stuff here. There's a lot of enemies that can hit you in this one. He is going to go for the power-up. Hits it on the left-hand side to make sure it goes the right direction. And that should be enough to see him through this level. Just gotta watch your blooper at the end here. No problem. There we go. Excellent stuff. Okay. So with almost 10 minutes down on the first world in Tourney Group 2, this is a rough start for sure. We don't get to see what the item is from our pickup there, but that's okay. World 4, you always have to do at least one of the two forts because you need to build a bridge to go to the end, but it looks like we're going to have to do both of them here as the dreaded 7 Fort 2 comes into play. Coming into this with a Fire Flower is definitely an ideal situation, but getting a bit too hasty. There is an item down there. You can go a little bit to the... basically a little bit off the platform and hit the... This is a nasty looking spot. Yeah, you hit the block on the left-hand side, and that can very often be a star that gets you through. I think it's a... Oh, dang. Nasty death on Magoo's side here. Does he have an item that can help this? Yeah, kind of. The star would help a little bit. Looks like it was a note block from Peach coming into this, so... This is a tough situation. There's no way around this. This is the only pipe onto the island. So, onto the main island. It is a star. Go as quick as you can, Magoo. You need to just barrel your way through this. But yeah, we're going to have to do both forts regardless, because even if this one builds the bridge, the lock is, blocking the other one, or blocking the stage here, so... you're going to have to be a bit of a bold move here, I think, if you want to get through this. Oh, not quite. So you need to make sure that you jump underneath the top one as it's coming down here. Fred was going for the item, has kind of thought better of it as the Boo is creeping a little bit too close. He does still have fire, so he should be able to make it through this as Magoo is going for the second shot at the star run here. You saw Fred delay there. That was to make sure that the Piranha Plant was not spitting fire now, because if... Ooh, a little bit caught there. That's okay. Both of them are through, basically at the same time, too. This is pretty good. So they both get the mushroom there. Just gotta either bait this guy out or do what Fred has done there, jump underneath it. You can get a jump off it as well, but the timing's a little bit strict. As, yeah, very, very close here. Both of them getting into the second part here. One Crazy Foot, one regular Hot Foot. The Crazy Foot is the one that's the more annoying out of this. Ooh, takes a bit of a hit, probably got clipped. Both of them taking a hit there. Both of them getting caught on the slide. But Boom Boom goes down quite easily for Magoo and for Fred here. They are very, very close. The difference is Fred has already picked up a 5-up from the star, whereas Magoo is down at only a couple of lives. So he's got to be very careful here. That's why you see him use the star to get the item here. That's why he also took the extra time to pick the life up. As you see, Fred is picking up an extra item because he doesn't have the star available by the looks of it. Because he must have already used that on the hammer bow beforehand, or just not done it, but I think he did the hammer bows, so... As you see, the other fort here, a nice and quick one. It is the Navy, so this stage should not take too long to do at all. So this will be a nice reprieve. So long as you don't try and go for the item. The item's like impossible to get in this place. But so long as you don't go for that, this level is a nice save here. As Fred actually gets P-Speed strats. That's something I need to look at. I've known it's possible to get him, I just don't know how exactly he's setting that up. So I'm going to have to look at that later on. So we have a bit of a power-up difference here, but not too much otherwise. So it's a pretty solid race set at the moment. So we're going to see a second crack at the end card for Magoo here. As Fred definitely going to go back in as well. He already knows one match guaranteed. Magoo has 4 out of this one. That's pretty good. Should hopefully get that cleared in 3 now, no problem. So we just see the straight airship here, which is the World 6 airship. Alright. Fred, gotta take on the Fire Bros. Gets it. Good stuff for Fred there. Is going to get a no block. So unfortunately not worth it. I think Magoo skipped that, so it's not too bad for him. We're going to see another Toad House take for Fred here. I don't blame him. There's a lot of grievances at the start of this seed, so getting a couple of extra power-ups, even if it is a frog suit, definitely worth it. Meanwhile, the old quirky jumping Iggy over here taking 4 hits. Kind of a bit bulkier, but not drastically so we should be fine. It's a good flat arena for catching him quickly, so Fred hopefully won't have any more issues with it as well. At least there's a power-up in the stage, though. That's a pretty big thing, because if that was a star, this fight... Because Iggy has a habit of jumping through you and damaging you from underneath, and it's really annoying. Ooh, a nice P-Wing from the Princess there, as we start with a very weirdly laid out World 5. So this is a blue fort. This will break the lock every time. I don't know if that's something that will... Ooh, that crazy foot, though. Nice jump over it. Wow. That's very difficult to do, actually. So, impressive stuff from Magoo there. Yeah, so maybe later on down the line it'll be changed up, but because the forts are physically different colors, right now it's possible to know which one is going to break the lock and which makes the bridge. So this one always breaks the lock, which means we're going to have to go through the tower to get up to the top, to get up to the sky part of Skytown. And that pretty much means that we're not going to see either of the two Hammer Bros on the other side, unless they are really desperately looking for stuff. But I know both players have got a hammer still, so there's not really much of a need for that, as Fred is taking the lower path here. Gonna get himself a leaf for it at the very least, but we already know that Magoo got that same leaf himself. Not entirely sure what Magoo was going for the power-up there. If that was a star, he'd have actually locked himself out the pipe for a bit. But maybe just wanted a Fire Flower instead of the... Ooh, takes the hit for it, though. It's possible that Magoo just wanted a Fire Flower instead of the leaf. But... yeah, if it was a star, you'd be spin jumping, and you can't go up pipes when you're spin jumping. So you definitely don't want that. So, it looks like Magoo is about half a tower. Fred is taking another item here, no problem. But it looks like Fred is about 3/4 of the tower behind now, thanks to that pickup. But another Fire Flower is a very good thing to have. If anything, it's nice that Boss Bash shows up being absolutely useless. If anything, Fred's item situation is far better here. If Magoo gets into any trouble at any point, there's a possibility that Fred's additional item stuff will come into play big time. And we know that Magoo is a little bit low on lives here as well in comparison, so there's not as much room for error on his side right now. As we see one of the beta levels, I think this is for... wow, it's just a generic grassland. What happened to the pussy beetle there? It just kind of killed itself. Okay, I don't think I've seen that before. That's pretty good. Yeah, the Lakitu's retreat in this stage is one of the few levels that actually happens. So that's kind of fun. And yeah, with the other Hammer Bro, Fire Bros being fire... oh, not even getting hit there as well. Fire Bros are jerks. As we see 4-5 with the typical Boss Bass. This seems to happen in 90% of 4-5s. Okay, maybe not quite, but there's a lot of them that have a Boss Bass in it, and this one is no different. But it's also one of the lower impact Boss Basses. There's not many chances for him to actually eat you in that stage, so I'm totally fine with seeing one there. As we get the star doesn't do a huge amount here. I mean, unless you high jump into the Lakitu by mistake, there's not really much. Oh! Or he can just run into you. I guess that works too, but that doesn't really matter with the star there. So we're gonna just see a P-Wing come out. Oh, the frog suit. Okay. Interesting. As Magoo is clearing the end card here. Gets it done in 3, like I was hoping to see. Looks like there was at least one cloud in the end card, so that's not bad. But in Tony Group 2, we're already most of the way through World 3, there's not necessarily going to be another good chance to get the full clear on an end card. And if there was only one cloud in the end card, then it would have to have been one of the 10 coin, 20 coin, or 1-up, so... it might not be worth going for another one anyway, but those items should still help out regardless. Meanwhile, World 7 airship being taken care of quite nicely. You gotta be careful about what Roy does here, because he is a sky jumper, so... Well, I guess a moon jumper is what you guys call it, but yeah. See, that could have easily hit Magoo if the game just decided to be annoying. So, getting another... Whoop, don't get caught by stuff. There's an invisible block in that bit, I'm pretty sure, so you don't want to get Kaizo boss passed. Like, that's the ultimate combination, right? Getting Kaizo blocked into a boss pass gulp. Definitely don't want that to happen. Not speaking from experience in the slightest. What are you talking about? So, World 3 done for Magoo here. Almost done for Fred too. Fred's actually going to skip the end card here. Interesting. I didn't see how much he got from the previous card. Oh, and this is a beautiful World 1 too. Look at this. So, the fort being at the bottom side here, and the lock being at the very end, you don't even have to use a hammer to get the optimal World 1 here. This is exactly what you want to see. You do 2 stages and you're already at the end of it. It's crazy good. Fred being a little bit mindful that the rocky wrenches tend to despawn the platforms there. So getting that done nicely. Meanwhile, World 2 fort going pretty good. Don't fly too high! There's a spike ceiling up there that you will get damaged by. Yeah, World 2 fort going pretty nice. The Boom Boom fight shouldn't be too bad because it's a nice flat area. There's no platforms to get in the way, so that is all good. Fred taking care of Roy without a problem too. Yeah, this is a pretty good race. Magoo is World 2 fort ahead, so has a bit of a lead, but it's not insurmountable as we get the infamous 2-1 with a Cheep Cheep this time. You should basically always assume that 2-1 at the very start will have either a boss bass or a Cheep Cheep. There's pretty much zero chance that it's going to have anything else. I mean, okay, obviously it doesn't always have one, but 90% of these seeds seem to have one. So the Cheep is actually at the top here. That's actually could have been good for Magoo there. Oh, didn't get killed by the respawn too, so nice timing on that for sure. If the Cheep Cheep goes too far off screen, it actually has a habit of respawning right in your face. So you do have to be careful of that. Fred's not going to take the time to get the extra item here. That is probably for the best. As we see another P-Wing come out here. These guys have got a lot of P-Wings. If any stages start giving them problems... Whoa! How did Fred not get hit by the boo there? That was terrifying. As we see, we see a Fred moment come in here. It's the vanilla World 1 airship for World 1. So, let's see where we're at. Just a single hit for Larry over here. That's pretty good. So now Fred going in for his 2-1. Being a little bit careful of your stuff here. Another star. Star chaining this stage is actually pretty reasonable. So, although it looks like he's just getting the mushroom this time. So, that is also fine. You want to have a spare hit for sure. Nothing's going to stop me in the middle of this speedrun. Except maybe lemon trees. Oh, Fred actually managed to get the run under the paratrooper. That was where Magoo took a hit. I'm not entirely sure what the purpose of the run jump is there, but okay. This fort, also no real need for a hammer here. Look at that. Magoo getting... in. He doesn't need to do that, he just needs to show it's there, I guess. Magoo instantly getting in for 741, getting a little bit lost here. Probably isn't used to actually having the tail coming in at the start here. This is the reason why... Oh, no, gotta do it again. This is the reason why so many people... come into these stages, into fortresses with a leaf power if they have lots of items spare. Because getting into this stage with the leaf is at least 25, maybe 30 seconds time save. So, very, very powerful. Oh, taking a hit on Larry there, but that's okay. It's not a problem. Fred still has a power-up, so he is going to need to get the Tanuki, but as Magoo is going in for another end card. Interesting. Doesn't really get anything out of it though. Ooh, this is another one that's really good to come in with a leaf. So 7-2, if you have a tail going into this stage, you can float over the bridge building. Oh no, but the paratrooper denied it. And now it becomes a little bit trickier, because Boss Bass here... What even is going on here? So the Micro Goomba just got deleted somehow, and then Para Goomba coming up from below doesn't really matter this time, but whoa, scary stuff coming out from Magoo's end here. But it's okay, he does get the jump, so that is fine. Yeah, it can be tricky not to get eaten by Boss Bass on the way through there. So this is one of the toughest stages to find a Boss Bass in if you don't have the leaf. Far from in... Oh! I guess he got a bit lost at the end of that too. Not quite sure where the hit came from there, but that's okay. As you see just the difference here, like how much longer it took Fred to be able to get to the end of this fort. That's the power of coming in with a tail into fortresses. Gets the kill with the statue there for the points, I guess. I don't know. As we see Vanilla 5-1 coming out. Not too bad. Fred's going back for the... Interesting that Fred's going back for the card now. Wonder why he didn't go for it in the last world then. So I imagine some of the delay here is marking off the card as well. Like you can use trackers during this stuff as well, and the use of trackers can often help you to make sure that you don't misplace where your prizes are. So we see, yeah, there is like one cloud. There was a hammer suit in the end card too, by the looks of it. Unless they picked it up from elsewhere. So that's pretty good. Hammer suit is what you want for the end of the game, so... Oh, I am almost surprised that didn't hit. Oh, the same Para Koopa getting Fred as well. Give that guy a raise. Also give that guy a raise, apparently, because the Micro Goomba didn't get disintegrated this time, so... Fred, you don't need to make quite that many blocks. At least he didn't get eaten for it, but still, scary stuff. Anyway, free 8 coming on in here with Cheep Cheep. A little bit frustrating, but not the end of the world. Cheep Cheep tends to not get in the way too much in this stage. So we're okay with that. As we do see a flower come out there. So it looks like Magoo has stabilized a lot in terms of lives here. It's got 5 spare lives now. There was a point where there was only a couple of spare ones. So it looks like Magoo is also done fighting... Whoa! What? Hang on. Where was he going? How come he nearly fell off there? That would have been super weird. But yeah, it seems like there really hasn't been a whole lot to worry about in this particular world here for Magoo. So solid time at the moment. And just a single hit for Morton too. Doesn't go for the wand grab. Maybe isn't comfortable trying for it. If you can grab the wand at the very top of the screen, then it kind of doesn't make you fall down and you save a little bit of time. It's usually what P-Wings are used for in the Rando, for airship stuff like that. So that's fine. We're getting to see, yep, you're going to skip some stages with, like 2 stages with the pipe here, right? No, just the 1. That's still good. You still want to skip any stage that you can for free. As we do see 2 locks at the beginning of World 3. So this is actually a really good move by Magoo here. Use the cloud, and if this is a very good pipe, as it still could be, this actually could just be an instant World 3. No, you need to use a hammer to make this an instant World 3. So the one pipe that's left is the one that's blocked by the lock at the bottom. So you either need to do the fort that is there, or you need to use a hammer. And it looks like Magoo is just going to use a hammer here. I don't blame him. That other fort is about 3 or 4 levels away. So you could end up doing 4 extra stages here instead of just using the hammer. So definitely want to just use that. And especially when the Hammer Bro decides to give you one. Yeah, once stuff actually works, probably. Alright, yeah. Once we get that hammer going, you just skip the whole world. And this is really solid for Magoo. We are going to see Fred's going to be able to do basically the same thing. It'll be interesting to see whether the Hammer Bro gets in the way for Fred too. I think that was the one that was just like blocking the pipe regardless. So, ooh. Yikes, nasty Rocky Ranch there. So, yeah, it looks like Magoo is an entire world ahead here, but this world is basically nothing, so this race is still incredibly close. There is one world left, and it is the Pipe Maze, so World 7 coming on up, as Magoo does have all the lifesavers in play now. Just gotta be careful to get this last hit. There we go. Pretty close. 5-hit regular jumping Wendy is not an easy fight to do. Wendy is one that you want to go in with a Fire Flower, because she doesn't jump until you hit her once. So, you definitely want to go with that. So it looks like Fred's actually going to play the level. It's 4-2, so it's not the longest level out there. This is an interesting decision, given that we're in World 6 at this point. I have seen World 7s that require 0 numbered levels to beat. So it's possible that Cloud, although rare, very possible that Cloud goes to waste now. Ooh, taking a lot of hits off the Cheep Cheeps here. Oh, how did he not get hit with that? And wait, was that a... No, that must have been the other pipe on that side. We do see both forts on the South Island here. One lock is already seen. I didn't actually see what was on the final island. I was too busy looking at Fred there, unfortunately. So... Oh, we need to build a bridge, that's why. Okay. So... That means we have to find our way to South Island here. As Fred, I think has figured it out. Seeing which, oh, Boomerang Bro moving backwards. The most powerful defensive tool. Step behind you. He's going to go ahead and take the leaf here. So as it turns out, Fred's Cloud is going to be able to see use in the last world. So that's good for him. He is going to get the hammer here as well. That hammer is probably not going to be too useful here. Like, thinking on it now, Oh! But why did the hammer break... Did that happen for Magoo as well? Did I miss that? Why did the hammer break the block instead of the log? That's so rude! I must have missed that if that happened to Magoo as well. Yeah, it happened to both? Okay. So, I've been trying to figure this out for a while. I don't know what the rules are when it comes to that. Like, there must be a rule to it as opposed to it being random, right? So it does... Oh, Fred taking a hit, taking a death to Wendy. It's very difficult to get that set up. Okay. Yeah, I knew it would have been picked up by him before, but still. Looks like Magoo's having a little bit of a tough time finding his way to South Island here. This could still give Fred some time to catch up. Like, this is not an easy Wendy fight. This is basically as hard as it gets. But there's still time based on the way this is going for Magoo right now. But not if Wendy just decides to kill him from below. That's exactly the problem that I mentioned with Iggy. Wendy is also a little bit vulnerable to that, and yeah, this is where it starts getting dangerous. I don't think either of these blocks gave a Fire Flower, but if they did, that is definitely what you would want to use here. So, take number 3 for the Wendy fight here. Yeah, gotta be very, very careful with this. Because she will jump very, very high. Every time you hit a Koopaling, they get to jump higher. So it only gets more dangerous as you go along. There we go. Managed to get the kill. Even gets the wand grab. That should almost definitely be the wand grab at the top here. As Magoo seems completely lost. I'm not sure which pipe Magoo has not gone into. But there is somewhere that Magoo has not gone, and he is completely confused here. So this is a lot more even than it looks right now. Or than it looked, even, because Fred's about to enter the World 7 here. If Fred keeps the level head, he could actually easily find his way to the South Island here. And this would be pretty much even. So we get to see the preview here that we do need to build a bridge. So, where do we go in this place? Oh, Fred's already in South Island. Okay, so where did Magoo miss then? As we do see one fort, this one logically is not the fort that we need to break the to build the bridge at the end. This one, oh, just getting unlucky with that. This one has to build the to break the lock, because Magoo finally makes his way to South Island. This is basically a dead heat at this point. They're both finally in the place. Well, I mean, Fred is finally in the place after Wendy had her way. Magoo has finally worked his way back into the position he needs to be in. This is really, really close now. Second pipe on the first island got to here. So I'm guessing, because I missed the very start of the World 7 stuff because I was too busy looking at Fred's side at the time, I will admit. There must have been a... Oh wow, nice slide from Boom Boom there. There must have been one of the other pipes on this island went to the end, and that's where Magoo got stuck in a bit of a loop, I imagine. So that means that Fred is going to be able to just go straight through to the final island here. And with that, he has a cloud. He can skip one of the stages that Magoo's already done. Yep. Oh, but he's going to play it anyway. I guess he's forgotten about the cloud. That's an unfortunate error. Not a deal breaker, but it does mean that Fred's doing a stage he doesn't have. Unless World 8 decides to give a numbered level at the very start that you can skip, then it might be okay. And we might just be calling Fred a secret genius here, but chances are that cloud is going to waste. So we do see Magoo has indeed gotten the lock broken here, and this is basically a dead heat now. As we do see the note block being used, are we going to be able to see one from Magoo as well? Yep. So we are pretty much even going into the world. Which one is this? 5 airship, I think it is. As we are going to see a little bit of jumping up the top here. Not too bad. Magoo takes the bottom route, despite being able to float up to it, but that's okay. It's not really much of a difference anyway. So we do see some earthquakes coming out from Ludwig. Only 2 hits though. And we are seconds apart going into the final world here. Now, if you haven't seen any Tony Bracket 2 seeds, World 8 is a little bit different to what it is in the Tony Bracket 1. In Tony Bracket 1, you basically just need to find a 1 pipe that goes to Bowser, and that's it. In this one, 1 to 4 bridges need to be made by basically beating fortresses. So in addition to the overworld map shuffle, we don't know how many are going to be needed. At least this is a fort, so the 2 tank stages, one of the tanks is the level, one is the fort. You don't know which one it is until you actually go in. And the typical 3-4-2 seems to be in like every World 8 right now. Ooh, Magoo taking a hit before getting the mushroom is going to opt to ignore it here. This is one that can be very difficult to get the power up in. So this is another one that I tend to see a lot of players ignore getting it. So Magoo's just taking his time a little bit now. Fred also taking a hit near the end. You can swim above the final curtain set there if or the carpet booze if you are small. So it's a little bit of extra safety you can do, but both of them managed to get through in pretty good fashion. Still very, very close here. So now we get to see which one of these 2 pipes is going to lead somewhere useful. That is kind of useful. So you need to do another fort in order to unlock that. If you had a hammer, it would be a strong consideration to actually use that. Turns out the anchor doesn't really do anything. That might have been a note block then. And now we know that tank on the far side there is not a fortress. It is a regular level. So there's no need to do any of that. So we just get these recurring pipes here, just looping onto each other. And we do see the other 2 forts. Oh, but one is... Ooh. This is a weird situation then. So, potentially, we might not need to do any more forts. I reckon we are probably going to need to do this fort to unlock the airship to unlock the fort that we've seen already, and that fort is going to build a bridge in order to get to the end. That is most likely what is going to happen here, as Fred's beta level hand stage gets cleared quite easily. There's no real way to die in that stage, so you kind of just have to do it if you get caught. But that's okay, because it's not a particularly long stage, and he gets a free power-up out of it, so it's not a problem. 5-foot-1 here, not really being too much of an issue for Magoo. Did take a hit halfway through, but that's fine, as Fred just finds himself on the other side of the dark area here. One of the pipes in the top corner is going to have to lead to Bowser. And it's free! Oh, wow! Never mind my theories, then. We do see 6-5 here, but Fred is free. He's in. There's a boss pass, but you can get to ignore that. Just go out the pipe. This has to be a leaf at all times, because if it's not, then you actually do get soft locked potentially in this level. So this is Fred's race to lose at this point, as Magoo has found himself in the pyramid. Did he go on to the tank level there? I think he did. So that is not a fortress. That is most definitely not what he needs to see here. So Fred trying to take the Koopa, doesn't quite get it, but also doesn't need to. There's just Power Goombas up here, so just be a little bit careful. Gets them both down, no problem. There has to be at least one Koopa spawned down the bottom, because there can be Spinies or Nippers or other stuff that stops you from being able to progress with just a leaf alone up there. So yeah, Fred has only got Bowser left to do. Does have a hammer suit as well, as we see Magoo is going to be very close behind here. Fred needs to get moving for sure, because Magoo doesn't get caught by the hand. We are in the final stage at the same time. Oh man. Yeah, there was a 5-up pickup from Fred there too, which definitely cost a little bit of time. This is anyone's game at this point. If this hammer suit gets lost, oh, why did I have to say it? I'm sorry. No, both of them lose the hammer suit. Oh no. Okay, so this is a vanilla. Oh, but Fred misses the top. No, and it's not. Oh my goodness. And it isn't. Oh, it's not. He can't get back up either, because he's made the thing fall down. Nope. That's it. Fred's out. Take 2, I guess, as Magoo gets in. Hopefully he doesn't take a fireball to the face at some point here. Fred going in with a frog suit for the beams. We do see a hit taken from Magoo here. This is not over yet. You can stand underneath Bowser, but it doesn't look as if he's aware of that. Or is just choosing not to, so there is a possibility that the fireball can catch him here. This is not entirely over yet. Fred does take a hit again going up Waffle Tower here though, or Waffle Staircase. I guess no! Oh, that is brutal. As Magoo doesn't take a hit from the fireball there. We have seen that in the tourney several times before. So, get your GGs out for Magoo here. What a crazy finish to this race. Oh man. So Magoo getting through the door, coming in first with an SRL time of 43 minutes and 28 seconds. Wow. That is a finish for the highlight reel. How about that? As Fred makes his clip through, hopefully with the Tanuki should be totally fine here. So yeah, managed to get up to the top platform. No problem with the Bowser statue there. You do need a bit of a running start to get over this one, but that is also fine. And just take your time, float on down over the top of that. Air stalling? What is this? New Super Mario Bros. And Mario Maker with your air stalls? Now we can get to see... I mean, you could use the statue if you want, and you just end up ducking as soon as you do that. Doesn't really matter how you avoid Bowser in this part. Yeah, it basically just came down to one missed jump at the very end of this. That was absolutely insane. So meanwhile, Fred just making his way on through here. Does take a hit because he's a little bit too close to Bowser, but it doesn't really matter too much. As, yeah. Final bit done. GG to Fred as well. Very good. What a crazy finish this had. As Fred comes in with an SOL time of 45 minutes and 3 seconds. Wow. How about that? So, let's see if we can get these guys in for a chat here, because I think we have some words to say, right? We have some things that we want to talk to them about. So let's see if either of them want to hop on in here. And Magoo is in the IRC chat. I finally got a win! Yes, you did! And it was awesome! Yeah. Thrills, chills, and spills is a very good way of putting it for this. Absolutely. That is the sort of race, the sort of excitement that we want to see in this stuff, for sure. Alright, so we need to get these guys the link then. Right, just give me a sec to actually... I don't know if the bot's given these guys the link yet for this for the commentary server, so just give me a sec to see about that. Alright, so I've sent them both a link here. We'll hopefully be able to get them to join in soon. Yeah, I guess if I need to do that, that's... yeah, I can probably go with that. Yeah, apologies, I was kind of last second coming in with the stuff here, so I actually didn't have that part open. Hello! So we are joined by Fred. How are you doing?
Doing okay. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. What a crazy finish that was.
Yeah, I am definitely not good at the vanilla parts of this game. Oh, I'm not that good at the random parts either, but definitely need some practice there in Bowser's Castle to, actually get through there, and we might have actually had a really close race.
Yeah, so about that is we're also joined by Magoo as well. Hello.
Good game, Magoo.
Hello.
Yeah.
GG.
Well played, sir.
Man.
That was pretty fun. I don't know. I got lost in 7, and that was just stressing me out.
Yeah, you had quite a sizable advantage going into World 7, and that mostly evaporated when the difficulty getting back to South Island came on in. And yeah, it was Fred basically got there more or less straight away. We had the preview about what was needed at the end, and Fred pretty much got to South Island because it was in the way from the very beginning. And it's just like, I'm going to do both forts straight away. Or probably just, I'm going to do one, and then, oh, it's one fort. Well, I've got to do the other one now. And it was...
yeah, when I took the first pipe, I ended up, seeing the eastern island, from the pipe that does absolutely nothing. And so I saw that the bridge was out. So I knew I had to at least clear one of the forts, and when I walked into World 1 fort, I knew that couldn't be the answer, because then if you decide to go choose the item, you could soft lock the game. So I knew I had to go finish the other fort. Unfortunately, it was sitting right there, and then it was just a case of turn around and get back over there as quickly as I could.
Yeah, like I didn't notice that the bridge was out until I just bulldozed my way to it and went, oh no! And had to go back, and I thought that the correct pipe was the pipe I came in on. I got really just confused. So I was like, no, you can't go that way. And I just started checking the same things over and over, and it was just like, I'm falling down a hole here. We need to regroup.
Welcome to the world of Maze Island there.
Yeah, for real.
But well played. It was a really solid performance. You kicked butt there. Looking forward to seeing some more action here coming up soon for you.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I apologize to both of you for kissing your hammer suits away in the final play. You were both in the final level at the same time with your hammer suits set up, and I think as soon as I said that, you lost it on your end, Fred. Boom. And then, yeah, exactly the same place, lost it.
The disco waffle going the other way, it was just kind of like, I was like, oh, let's go up the stairs. We have the hammer. Let's go. I haven't seen it done yet. Feeling really good. Boom. Hammer goes down.
Note to self, request new commentator next time I play.
Yep.
I wouldn't
pretty
do
sure
that, Kyle.
everybody has.
You give awesome commentary. I'm looking forward to going back and listening to your goodness and the madness that ensued.
Yeah, I'm sure this will be fun to watch.
Oh, yeah. There's another one that piqued my interest is 7-2. Both of you went in with a leaf, and both of you got hit by exactly the same paratrooper. So it's like, that dude needs a race, for sure.
Yeah.
Some of those enemy placements just end up bad. Some of them aren't completely unfair. Some of them can be completely unfair. We try to remove some of the unfairness to make it at least viable going forward. I mean, that one just, yep. I think there were so many different enemies that hugged me. I'm glad to see at least there were a couple that were in common there.
Yeah. Lots of hugs. Yeah. Yeah. That was super fun. Yeah. Glad I finally picked one up. My whole goal with the tournament was to get one win, and we got it. So everything else from here is gravy. Pretty happy.
Exactly. Best of luck going forward here with the other matches, because hoping to see good action. Maybe you will be the second person out of our group. I kind of hope so.
Yeah, I was going to say, have you guys got any other matches coming up?
Haven't scheduled my other two sets of group matches yet, but they should be coming up hopefully in the next day or two, and not day or two, week or two. My time sense is completely off, and then hopefully we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, I need to schedule 3 more matches. I have a Flags 2 with Justin, Man 114, and then Goku, Bat, Fat Man. We have to play both matches.
Yep, and I have to play the same opponents, except I have 2 games left against Justin. So.
Okay.
All right. So plenty of time left to pull off some fun stuff then.
Oh, absolutely, always.
Good stuff. All right. Is there anything else you want to add for this, or?
Thank you again for the match, Magoo. Thank you for calling it, Cal. Especially on such short notice there. As I said, looking forward to seeing the commentary there, and hopefully seeing a lot more fun action here in the tourney coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, what he said.
Well, if you guys have enjoyed your stream time today, then give these excellent runners a follow. They are very entertaining. I mean, Fred does a lot of different rando stuff, having made quite a few of them. So definitely check out the Zelda 1 stuff too. It's a lot of fun. And